I just want us to look at why peace of mind is important before we can look at how we can relate it to education. It is important that we look after our minds because it helps to reduce stress and anxiety. As we know, the world is full of trouble. And for me, I think I listen to the news once or twice a month because whenever you switch on the telly, all you hear or see is negative news. And all of these sometimes gives us anxiety and stress. When we have peace of mind, it also enhances our emotional resilience. If you have that resilience, and I heard our brother saying education is an exchanging of information. When you give and someone also gives you what they have. So if I give you my knowledge and my knowledge is actually diluted by stress and all that, and it doesn't have a strong emotional intelligence back in it. It means that even the quality of education that you'll be receiving from me is not that great. So it's very important. And it also helps us to improve our decision making and helps us to focus. Having a peace of mind helps us to build great relationships, not just with our immediate family, but with our communities, our friends, and the wider community as a whole. And last but not the least, having that peace of mind helps us to lead that fulfilling life that we are all yearning to aspire. Everyone on this platform cannot tell me they don't want to live a fulfilling life. We all want to live fulfilling lives, and having that peace of mind will, to a very large extent, help us to achieve this aim. So, in wanting to develop our peace of mind, there are a few things that we really have to look at. And one of the things that we really have to see is how we can practice mindfulness and meditation. Some people do that to help them. We also have to develop emotional intelligence, whereby we have to be strong, have that resilience going on. We have to also learn how to let go of negativity. It's the negativity that actually destroys us in terms of unforgiving, and sometimes we don't tend to forgive people. We have negative thoughts about people. We should just free our minds, be positive about life. Even when things are going rough, we say that, yes, I can get through this. And one man called Winston Churchill, I think most of us have heard about his name, our former prime minister, said that it is important that you go through your struggles, because in any challenge, or in every challenge, there is an opportunity in every challenge. It is also important that we look after ourselves, because when we are able to do that, we'll be able to cultivate a mind that will help us to stay strong. And the other ways that we can also cultivate our peace of mind is by engaging in continuous self-improvement. Self-improvement is related to education. It is very, very important. We have to also surround ourselves with positive influences. This is a very clear example. As we are all online tonight, I believe that we are all positive and we are going to influence each other positively. It's very, very important. Last but not the least, we have to establish a management framework that is helpful from within, that will help us to control our anger, control some of our emotions. It is very, very important. I know we are talking about peace of mind, but today is not about peace, but we are not going to look at the kind of peace that brings takes away war from our society. We are looking at the kind of peace that will help us to flourish, in life. Now, let's look at personal education for lasting peace. So how can we have lasting peace through personal education? So one of the things that we can do is through reading and self-education for emotional growth. Because when you educate yourself and you have that knowledge, it gives you that self-confidence and that motivation, and it also impacts on your emotions. So self-education and reading also impacts on our emotional growth. We can learn from mentors and coaches. I know Dr. Abba and his team are doing great in terms of teaching you so many things that is not taught in the mainstream churches. And last time he shared a few with me, and I was amazed by the insights into the things that he is exposing the world to, which is a great thing. So learning from mentors and coaches are a great deal, whereby we can educate ourselves. And practicing self-reflection and journaling. So this thing is, I should say that a lot of us do not do that bit. Practicing self-reflection and journaling is whereby you grab a book, a special book where you put in your thoughts and how your day has been, and these things normally is not part of our culture, but it really helps to free your mind, because when you are writing down the things that you've been through, the difficult challenges of the day, basically or indirectly, it means that you've offloaded the heavy weight on your mind. Now, so how can we practice lasting peace? One of the things that we have to do is to start the day with gratitude. We really have to, if we want that peace of mind, we have to start the day with gratitude. We tend to think that being alive is automatic. It's being here alone alive is a huge thing. So even if you are going through worries, challenges, you just have to say, be grateful for you being here, being healthy, and appreciating life in itself. Also, it is important that we have daily intentions. You can't just wake up and say, oh, today is today. You have to have an intention for the day. And you also have to have affirmations. Affirmations that I really do, my family and I, we really do have a lot of affirmations whereby we proclaim positive things. So if you want a lasting peace, things that you don't even see, when we want to define peace, we want to define faith. The definition of faith in the Bible says that the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not yet seen. So the things that are not yet seen, you have to begin to affirm them, that yes, they will come and they have actually appeared. So it is very, very important that we affirm positive things. Sometimes we all go through stress, so it's important that we take deep breaths when we are going through stressful moments. As I've already mentioned, we should limit our exposure to negativity. One thing we need to understand that the news and social media they don't always portray the truth. So let me give you an example. When you see these celebrities and people posting how well they are doing, obviously that's what they will post. They will never post their baggages. So when you are there, you might think that, hey, this brother of mine were classmates, or this sister of mine were classmates, and now look at what where he or she is. And obviously, as I said, they will not post the negative aspects of their life. So we shouldn't allow these things, whenever we see these things, we shouldn't allow them to impact us adversely. We also have to engage in activities that bring joy and relaxation. Again, this aspect is more or less, it lacks a lot in our culture. Relaxing is very, very important. Rewinding, we have to always make sure that we rewind and offload our brains. It is really essential to do that. So now that we've looked at personal education that will help us to have that lasting peace of mind. We've also looked at how we can endorse, or how we can ensure that lasting peace of mind, what the things that we can do. Now, I just want us to look at the skills that will help us to be peaceful in terms of acquiring the skills that we need in the 21st century to help us to move forward educationally. One of the most important, or if not the most important skill, as our sister was talking, she made mention of technology. Whether we like it or not, it has come, it has arrived. So we all have to be abreast with digital. Sorry? So we have to be abreast with technology and digital education. So we've all heard about artificial intelligence, or AI, data literacy analysis, cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is also a big thing. Coding, programming, blockchain. So all of these, you can take a screenshot or take a photo of it. I don't mind. Because of time, I can't explain all of them. So we have to make sure that in terms of educating ourselves, we are digitally literate. And the other thing we need in this century, or in this world, that we need is how we can solve problems and think critically. If you normally, when you go for interviews, job interviews, they do ask these questions regarding your analytical and creative skills, and how you can adapt, and how flexible you are in terms of the way you work, and how logic are you also in terms of your decision making. So it is very important that in this century, if we want to move forward, if we want to develop ourselves, if we want to move with the masses and not lag behind, then we have to ensure that we have developed that critical thinking and problem solving skills. Again, I don't mind you taking a screenshot so that I can have another look and research into it later. Thirdly, we have to ensure that we have equipped ourselves with communication and interpersonal skills. It's very, very important that we do that. We have to be strong emotionally, and that's what we call emotional intelligence. We should know how we can communicate with people, in between cultures. As we all know, there's a saying that the world is a global village. So if you are communicating with other people from different parts of the world who do not speak, or who do not understand your language, you need to find an effective way of communicating with people from different backgrounds and with different cultural experiences. You should be able to also persuade and negotiate. Dr. Abba was able to persuade and negotiate with me. So on that note, I know that Dr. Abba, you have this skill going on. And public speaking and storytelling. This is very important because we all have a story to tell. And believe you me, a lot of people are making millions telling their story, doing public speaking. So if you have a skill that you want to share with the rest of the world, it is very important that you develop yourself, you sharpen your skill in terms of public speaking, so that you can share it with the rest of the world. The other aspect that we have to develop is most people, if not every one of us, we all do have entrepreneurship and that business acumen. Maybe just refer back to maybe when you were young, you could save money in your money box. We all used to have this either a piggy bank or a wooden money box. So we all had that acumen within us, or entrepreneurship spirit within us. But as you are growing, as your environment is changing, you tend to lose a lot of aspects of what you were born to achieve in life. So it is very important because we need to understand this. If we want to be rich or you want to be comfortable, you cannot be comfortable for the rest of your life working for somebody. Okay, just that you need to think about other streams of income, maybe investing into stocks and other things so that you can be comfortable. Other than that, someone for the rest of our lives, someone will determine when we have to get to work, when we have to sleep, how much they will pay us and all those things. If you want that thing to change for you to have that peace of mind, because sometimes when you're even waking up to work, your body doesn't want to go, but you have to drag yourself because maybe you have to pay some bills or you have to pay children's fees and all that. So we have to think about how can we break away from this chain of always going to work and relying on an employer. Okay, let's think about ways that we can be smarter in terms of earning additional source of passive income. Again, we have to be very, very responsible in terms of our timekeeping skills, our time management skills. If we want to be serious with life, we want to be serious with business. For example, if I have a business meeting with someone from the US, or I'm meeting someone and I'm late, the business partner might not take me serious. And if it's a contract that I'm going to defend, they will definitely give it to the person who was punctual. So we have to think about how we can exercise time management. We should also exercise self-discipline, how we can be disciplined in our ways. We need to learn virtual tools. I think COVID changed the world. A lot of things are done virtually now. Education, schooling, seeing a doctor, everything is being done via Zoom or online. And it didn't used to be like this. So it tells us that the world is changing. So if we want that peace of mind, we need to equip ourselves. Because let's assume that you have to do something via online and you haven't got the skills, it would actually affect you. And definitely when it affects you, it will also impact on your emotions and your peace of mind. The other thing I want us to look at, which is very similar to the previous point, is for us to be able to learn how we can work online, remotely, and collaboratively with other people around the world. Last but not the least, one other aspect that we need to look at is lifelong learning and self-development. As I've already mentioned, it's very important that we do that. Now, I'll quickly run through this. Again, you can take a screenshot of it or take a photo. So I just researched the top 40 business ideas, okay, that can help us to develop and also give us that additional income. Because when you have that additional income coming in, and you know that you can tackle that bill or you can tackle that health issue by going to a private hospital, or you can tackle that school fees problem, then it will also give you that peace of mind. So these are my top 40 business ideas, okay? The first one relates to technology and digital business. I'm not going to say count them, all of them, okay? E-commerce, okay? We have e-commerce. We have finance and investment. So we're looking at how we can have peace of mind through investment. So like things like real estate, buying stocks and all that, okay? And you'll be surprised, but the health and wellness industry is making billions upon, if not trillions, a year around the world. So it's an aspect that you can also explore to see if you can find a niche or an area that you can invest in. So a question for you to actually think about is which business is right for you. So think about what you think you can do in addition to what you are doing now to give you an additional income so that you can have that peace of mind that you deserve. Okay. So my final thoughts to you is that you should know that peace begins from within, okay? And it has to be through intentional learning and self-awareness. We can also cultivate lasting inner peace and inspire those around us. And as Hosea chapter 4 rightly says, for lack of knowledge, my people perish. So learning is for life. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Learning is for life. Learning is for life. I've got a couple of questions. I kept writing down, and then you were just hitting the nail on the head. Thank you very much, Dr. Linda, for the insights that you shared and how you even married it to peace. And I wouldn't lie, when I saw the theme for the day, I was wondering that learning for lasting peace, peace learning. There'll always be war. So are we going to have lasting peace? Well, thank you for breaking it down so much.
You're welcome.
Please, can you confirm, Mr. Jerry, can you confirm that you're ready?
Don't worry, I got it under control. We are live.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, Sam. So quickly, I'm going to save every other thing I have to say for the Q&A session because we're already far behind time. So I'll just go ahead. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Linda, for the insightful and straight to the point presentation that you just made. And you were even within time, notwithstanding the fact that we had some technical issues and glitches here and there. Thank you very much. Our questions are waiting for you. We can't wait to have you dissect all the questions that will be thrown at you. Please, everyone, don't forget that you need to participate actively to get your certificate at the end of the day. Don't forget that. So please participate actively. If you have questions, write them down. We'll take them during the Q&A session. We should come up right after our second speaker comes up. So who is our second speaker? I'd like to introduce our second speaker to you. Be on this journey with me. Now meet our speaker. Our speaker, Dr. Samuel Abba, is the president of Holy Nations International Ministries. He's a serial entrepreneur and a distinguished leader in education. He has served in various organizations and has more than a decade experience in lecturing in various higher institutions across the world. He is widely consulted by universities and various governments across the world, and he is an education advocate as well as a sustainable development advocate. Now you may be wondering, see, my daughter is so excited. She can't even keep calm. She can't even keep calm because she's hearing who I'm introducing, so she's so excited. Now you're wondering, so what are the specifics? In fact, we had to cut a lot. He kept saying, no, please take a lot out of my profile, take a lot out of my profile. I don't know. It's just disguising. Let me use that word. Let me use disguising. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, with a virtual round of applause to welcome our next speaker for today, whom I just read his profile to you, Dr. Samuel Abba. Please put your hands together for him. Put your hands together for him. Thank you. Welcome, sir.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, sir. We can hear you and we can see you.
Very good. Nice to have everyone here. So I'm going to dive into my presentation. So this is, okay, I can share, good. So this is International Education Day workshop. And this very workshop is being supported by Holy Nations International Ministries. And thanks for the United Nations and the UNESCO who is putting this together. And there are other organizations, sister organizations that have contributed to this workshop. First of all, let me recognize the first speaker, Dr. Linda. Thank you very much. That is fantastic presentation from you. Thank you very much. So as I was saying, there are other sister organizations that has contributed to this, like the British Pathodiagnostic and Biotechnology, the African College, BHAS Research and Development, and the British Community Hospital and Outpatient Clinics, which is a new innovation that is being developed across the sub-Saharan Africa. So permit me to make some adjustment. Okay. So I'm making my presentation today on exploring education in the age of technology and beyond. Exploring education in the age of technology and beyond. And can someone from the studio come and help adjust my light, please? I don't like reflection on my glasses. Thank you. So exploring education in the age of technology and beyond. Apostle Dr. Samuel Abba, as earlier introduced. So I'm going to share a number of things that might be thought-provoking when it comes to education. Can you see my screen, please?
Not here. Okay, yes. It's starting up.
Okay, so let's look at the past, the present, and the future of education. For those people within the sub-Saharan Africa, those that are born or that school in the maybe late 90s, late 80s, and early 90s. I'm like myself, I'm sure you did not use Google. How many of you use Google in college? If you are here and you use Google in college, can I see your hand up? You are here, and when you were in college, you know about Google. So if a teacher says, what is this? You can Google it up and then know the answer. Can I see your hand, please? Okay, not many of you use Google. So talking about the past, education before the internet relied heavily on classroom teaching, where you have a teacher writing on the blackboard, and then there are books. The library is full of books. There are formal institutions where you go, you enroll to attend school. And in terms of informal education, it was limited to oral presentation, community-based. Sometimes there are people in the community that are into carpentry and all of those things. So if you want to be a carpenter, or I don't know how they call them today, or if you want to learn how to repair vehicles, you have to go and then learn from the people within the community that does those things. And that is how education has been in the past. Okay, and in the present, since the advent of the internet, I think it was in 1969 that we have the ARPANET, when they tried to transmit the first information on the internet. And I think the first information that they tried to transmit on the internet was login, but that is GIN, but the GIN was not transmitted. So what was actually transmitted was the low, and lo and behold, we have the internet right here with us, which could either be a blessing or a curse, depending on how you look at it. And since the advent of the internet, there are several online platforms like Coursera, Khan Academy, EDX, and all of those. And even religious organizations like Holy Nations International Ministries, the church began to spring forth online. I remember before the COVID, I started an online church, and people are like, oh, why should you have online church? But the reality is here, and everything is going to go online. So that is the present that we find ourselves. So And even at this present time, there's a lot of hybrid education going on where you have physical presence in the class as well as online learning. Sometimes there is a blending between the two, which some scholars call it a blended approach. Now, what is the future of education? I personally believe, and I'm also working on that, I want to believe that education is going to be decentralized. I'm going to talk about this if time permits. I'm going to talk about this later on. Of course, we all know cryptocurrency and how it has been decentralized. I think something like that is going to happen in the field of education. So I'll save this for my later slide. Now, there are two types of education, basically. We have the formal and the informal education. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the formal education, but I'm going to take a lot of time to talk about informal education. This is particularly because a lot of people think that except you attend a formal school, you are not educated. And a lot of people think that education is all about your ability to speak English and use big language and all of those things. But I personally believe that education has nothing to do with your ability to speak English or use big languages and all of that. And oftentimes within the society, when people want to tell us that they are educated, then they have to use certain big words or what they will call grammatical jargons in order for them to express their literacy in education. And this is mostly associated with formal education. But I'm going to talk about informal education. And this has to do with learning outside the classroom, learning within the families, learning within the communities, and self-directed efforts. Self-directed efforts. For example, learning about soft skills, hobbies, emotional intelligence, and practical knowledge. And of course, I think emotional intelligence is something that we also have to talk about. You may find some people with a lot of degrees, certificates, but they do not have emotional intelligence. And it's really very difficult. Please, can you turn on your video to help me talk, please? Please, sorry, I'm so sorry. And this is one problem we have with digital technology. Can you please turn on your video? Thank you very much. Thank you. So emotional intelligence sometimes is not something that people learn in school. So you see a lot of people with degree and certificates, but that emotional intelligence is just not there. And as a result of that, I think that has led to a lot of problem in the workplace and families and all of this. But this is something that we can also learn informally. Okay, so if you are listening to me and anywhere you are, maybe you've not been to university to gather degree like myself, I think it's not very appropriate for you to begin to consider yourself as an illiterate person. Okay, do not just consider yourself as an illiterate person because you've not been to formal school. And I think there is a mindset around formal and informal education. And we have to do some lifelong learning as a mindset to adapt in a changing world in terms of how we looked at informal education. A lot of people feel that, okay, if my child is going to the university or to college, and then your child is going to learn some skills, maybe how to make dress or how to make furniture, then some people think that, okay, the child that is going to the college is more brilliant than the child that is going to learn how to do furniture and all of those things. And there is this mindset around that. And that would take me to cultural and societal perspective on education. Cultural and societal perspective on education. And I'm sorry, I think a lot of people are victim when it comes to properly assessing who is educated and who is not educated. There's a lot of data out there talking about children out of school and all of those things. And of course, I do agree that primary education is really, really very important. I think that primary education is the most important aspect of education, particularly in this age of internet. And I want to believe that as well, that to me, education actually ends with reading and writing. Okay, with reading and writing largely to some extent, and which is why I am of the opinion that primary education is very important. Secondary education is very, very important. And I think we need to advocate and put up that fund for our children and try as much as possible to enroll them in schools. Okay, but education is not all about schools. So, and there is this mindset, societal mindset around education, by the way, that I want to talk about. And you see everybody going on the same lane or on the same path, I would say. So finish primary school, go to secondary school, write GCSE, go to university, and then everybody want to go to university. So when people want to go to College of Education or School of Nursing or technical college, and these days technical college is not very it's not, which word do I use? It's not very common. It's not celebrated, I would say, because if your child is going to technical college, they will look at you like, okay, they look at people that goes to maybe technical college or people that goes to School of Nursing to be low people in the society or average people in the society, and everybody want to put up that fund that my child can go to university. But I'm sorry to say, majority of the university degree these days is just useless. But there is this vibe that everybody has to go to university. And there is no time, no point in time that we can talk about this than now. So there is this cultural perspective on education, cultural bias, where technical education and vocational training are undervalued in some society. I can tell you across the world. Okay, I'm well traveled and I can tell you that this is undervalued in some society. So they feel that, okay, if you are not very rich or you are from a poor family, you can go ahead and do vocational education. But people that are very rich, then they can go to universities, which I don't know. I can't really figure out the universe in the university anyway. And there is this emphasis on university degree as a status symbol over practical skills. And I think we have to reframe our mindset, where we have to highlight the dignity and importance of all form of works, all form of education. And I think there is a gap that exists between the so-called academics or university or whatever higher education that people get and the practical skills. And I think if we change our mindset around these practical skills, a lot of people within the society will begin to develop practical skills. Within the UK of recent, I'm one of those that are spearheading what we call higher technical qualification, HTQs. And the government is beginning to build technical schools. They have always been there. It's always been there, but there are emphasis that is being laid on technical skills. I do a lot of projects in other African countries, and I can tell you the lack of technical skills because of the vibe and the cultural perspective all around that everybody must go to university, everybody must go in a particular way. So you like when I came out of college, if you're going into polytechnic, then they look at you like, oh, you are not going to measure up. There is this vibe, this body language that, oh, he is in polytechnic, I am in the university. He's not as privileged as I am. And there is a lot of signals that we have sent across when it comes to technical school or other forms or levels of education. Now, I also want to talk about certificate, and I would like to ask you this question. Is education all about certificate? Is education all about certificate? Because sometimes like I said to someone about 2 weeks ago, and I said, most often the things that we hear, most of the things that influence and impact us in the society most often are things that we are not very conscious of. Okay, we are not very conscious of, but these things are really everything you hear within in the society. It matters. Even some of you listening to me, you may think, oh, what is this saying or whatever, but I want to tell you that hearing me, your life is no longer going to remain the same. Okay, whatever you hear have impacts on you, and there is this vibes that is going on in the community, and we've, I think, made education certificate thing. But the question is education about certificate? Of course, certificate does validate knowledge, but are often viewed as status symbol. Okay, skills and applied knowledge are more valuable in practice. They are more valuable in practice. And advocacy for skill-based hiring and recognition of alternative education has to be encouraged. Okay, so I do not believe as a person. Okay, I've been teaching in higher education, developing curriculum in higher education for many years within the UK. I can't even count the number of curriculum that I've developed even in the UK and in Africa. And I think I've come to a point where I'm beginning to lead my own innovation in education. And I think I'm really making a lot of difference, which will soon be very apparent. But I'm of the opinion that education is not all about certificate. As a matter of fact, I and my team were building some higher technical education across Africa. And one of the things we are looking at becoming our motto is your skill is your certificate. Your skill is your certificate. And I think we are going to a point whereby, when I start talking about AI, and I will emphasize more on that, we are going to a point whereby people would no longer hire you because you have certificate, but people are going to hire you because you have skills. So education is not all about certificate. And somehow we encourage this, because when we put up advert, we say send in your certificate, send in whatever. We hardly say send in your skill or make a sketch or prototype of your skill and send across. We always want to say send in your certificate, and we ask this question: which university do you finish from? Which college do you finish from? And there is this branding that is going on, and we are hitting up the whole polity, and it's not effective. So education is not really about certificate. Education is really about knowledge and the skills that you have acquired. Now, I'm going to now talk about the internet, because this is one thing that is shaping and changing a lot of things. The internet. The impact of the internet on education. Of course, the internet has really helped in shaping education. Knowledge is available to everyone on the internet, anyone with internet connection. There is that personalization where you can adapt learning to your own individual need. For example, if you're on YouTube, you can choose what you want to watch and what you want to learn and all of those things. Or you are subscribing to online lectures. You are free to go for what you want. All right. And the internet gives us that global connection. And as a result of the internet, the world has become a global village. And it creates room for cross-cultural learning opportunities through global classroom. Okay, there have been instances where my students in the UK will have to learn with other universities in Singapore or in United States of America. And we came up with something like collaborative online international learning. Collaborative online international learning, where, assuming you are studying health and social care in the UK, you want to know how health and social care look like in Singapore or in the United States or in Nigeria. That is to say, how do they look after their sick people and all of those things. And these are all made possible as a result of the internet. But there is a challenge, and that challenge is the digital divide. Okay, digital divide. And when we talk about digital divide, we are talking about accessibility to the internet. Some people don't have Wi-Fi. I'm not sure a lot of people have Wi-Fi in Africa, and they use their mobile phone, they subscribe, but that digital divide is there. Some people don't have a computer, they don't have good phone. And if you don't have a computer and you don't have good phone, if you don't have a computer and you don't have good phone, it's going to affect you being able to access the internet. So in as much as the internet is great, that digital divide exists. And I think something that the United Nations can do, or organizations like Bill, Melinda, or whatever, Holy Nations International Ministries, any charitable organization, what they could do is to make this available for people, particularly within the sub-Saharan region. Okay, I know there is now internet from this billionaire Elon Musk. Okay, I think part of charitable work is to see how can schools and colleges have this internet, and how can they access this internet to bridge that digital divide. And there is another great challenge about the internet and education, and that is misinformation. Misinformation. And we are in an era whereby you are talking to somebody, then they are checking you out, or they are checking on the internet. And there is this ideology that it's as if that when you find anything on the internet is correct. I don't know. I'm not sure if you are following me. Okay, there is that ideology that once anything is on the internet, then that is correct. But I think that is not true, particularly within a society where they only download without uploading. Okay, so I think it needs to be clear, and as part of internet education, that okay, whatever you find on the internet, people put it there. For example, I'm a preacher of the truth of God's word, and then you begin to talk to maybe explain a passage about the scripture, and then somebody is trying to read on the internet. I think in one of my comments on one of my broadcasts on my official page more recently, I was talking about grace, how we are in the era of grace and all of those things, and how you cannot be under the law and all of those things. Then someone went to the internet and Google out something about grace and copied the whole lot of things and paste it there, and I had to delete it because it's misleading. And that is the problem. Okay, people, you give people assignment, they go straight to the internet and they think whatever they found on the internet is correct. And I think that is another challenge when we want to talk about the internet and education. So you need to understand that anything on the internet is not everything on the internet that is correct. My students know that you cannot cite Wikipedia for me. Okay, you cannot cite Wikipedia for me. Now, one thing I should say here is that how do you validate information on the internet? We have journals, peer-reviewed articles, okay? Something that has been written and another person will have to review. So if you are a student and you want to cite work on the internet, you should cite journals or peer-reviewed articles, not Wikipedia or blogs or something. Anybody can make a website and type anything there, and that does not make the information valid. And you cannot validate truth on the internet, okay? You have to come up with a way where you can find out things and validate truth. Because if the internet is here, then we have to educate ourselves on it. But then, it's no doubt that before the advent of the internet, there is limited access to materials. And also there is this democratization of knowledge. Democratization of knowledge. What do I mean by democratization of knowledge? You see, in the earliest time, even within the UK, it's the elite that has access to knowledge, the bishops and all of those things that have access to knowledge, but the internet has helped in democratizing knowledge. The information is there on the internet for as many that have access to it. You can access it and you can learn. So the knowledge now cut across. These days, a lot of people want to monetize the internet like YouTube, TikTok, and they just want followers. And as a result of that, things that should have been kept secret, they are no longer keeping it secret because they want to entice people. They want to say things that people will like so that they can get followers. So you see things like 4 machines you can buy to do business in Africa and all of those things. And if you know how to watch appropriate content on YouTube, I think it will help your innovation. And I think Dr. Linda mentioned some of those things. So because of time, I'm going to talk about artificial intelligence because this is the senior brother to internet, even though it's part of the internet. You cannot talk about education today without talking about artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence comes with its threats and opportunities, okay? We have several of them. We have ChatGPT and Midjourney and all of those things that are there. And of course, they are really, really very important. They can generate a whole lot of data, okay? But there is a problem with artificial intelligence. And I think one problem is a lot of academicians or educationists have been deliberating whether artificial intelligence is a blessing or a curse or both or whatever. Because we are in an era where you give an assessment to students and all what they do is they just copy the assessment, paste it on ChatGPT, then the ChatGPT Google out, not Google, though, artificialize, I would say, or bring out content. And of course, we can use ChatGPT to write papers and all of those things. Okay, you bring out content and then they just send like that. And oftentimes when you read this content, it makes sense. So knowledge has become artificial. You can barely spot out who is intelligent, who is not intelligent. People are using artificial intelligence to write email, ChatGPT to write email and all of those things. And it's pretty accurate to some extent. Okay, it's pretty accurate to some extent, but there is a problem with that when we over-rely on artificial intelligence. So you see someone reading health and social care or engineering or whatever, they can use this to generate information and then submit it for marks. And more recently, I had to address an issue where a student come to me and said, my marks should be higher. And I'm like, why do you think your marks should be higher? Yeah, and he was like, great work. And of course, this is a great work. But the teacher is of the opinion that, okay, this person used ChatGPT to generate. And that is going to lead me to what I would title as assessment in the era of ChatGPT. Assessment in the era of ChatGPT. So, or in the era of artificial intelligence. And I think a lot of people will find this valuable, especially if you are a teacher, either in primary, secondary, or higher education. I'm not going to waste a lot of time because there is no time. I'm not going to waste a lot of time to talk about the role of artificial intelligence and all of those things, which you already know. But I think it's important to talk about designing AI-proof assessment to actually test for knowledge, AI-proof assessment. And one thing that I'm advocating is face-to-face test, like we did in those days, where pupils will come together in the classroom and then you give them questions and they have to write the test and then submit a time-bound assessment or multiple choice question. And there are a number of other things we can do, a different kind of assessment in this AI generation. Okay, so focus on process over product. Okay, emphasize the step leading to the final output and require drafts, outlines, and progress reflections. So what do I mean? Sometimes I say to my student, write, make a presentation, but write a 1,000-word reflection alongside with your presentation, because I want to see the processes that lead to the data that you are presenting to me for marks. Okay, or I can spot out some journals and then I give to them and I say, you read it and write a summary of each of these paper and send to me. These are not things that students can easily use artificial intelligence or ChatGPT to do. And also we can talk about portfolio-based learning. Okay, for courses like biomedical science or any other course, to be honest, you can keep a portfolio of your learning and share with the teacher. Long-term projects showcasing skills, creativity, and growth over time. And also evidence of learning, which include prototypes, video, or logs, and not just written submission. All of these are effective method of assessment that is AI-proof. And also critical thinking task. Okay, assign open-ended real-world problems that require personal insight and originality. For example, how would you apply blockchain technology to improve healthcare? Okay, and we can also do interactive peer assessment where students assess each other's work and discuss improvement collaboratively. Okay, and also oral presentation like Viva, like we had when for those of you that have PhD. Okay, you want to defend your thesis, you do Viva. Okay, student has to explain their understanding and process. Okay, making AI generated text easy to detect. And sometimes even when they have to hand in a written work, okay, you can follow it up with interview. Okay, I've marked your paper. If you suspect that a student is using AI, you say come for interview. Okay, and then you can then see where the student is, assess the knowledge, and give mark as appropriate. I think also in-class bound assessment and a whole lot of that. But let me just dive into this and end with this. Career AI can't replace. Okay, we know that AI is very great, but AI is a threat to a lot of career. If you are expecting me to mention some career AI cannot replace, I'm not going to do that. And also, I'm going to emphasize on skills or attributes that employers are looking for all over the world. That no matter how educated you think you are, if you lack these skills and these attributes, it's going to be difficult. It's a matter of time you will lose your job. Okay? Because AI is going to do a lot of things, but there are things that AI cannot do. Okay? Please, I will need a reminder as how far I've gone. I don't want to pass the time. Please put it on the chat for me. So career AI cannot replace. So we are going to ask ourselves some questions. We are going to think together. What are the careers that AI cannot replace? What are the human skills that AI cannot replace? What are the works that can be completed by artificial intelligence too that won't need humans? And what are the skills that makes you human that artificial intelligence cannot replace? Okay? We are human beings. We are created by God. We have hands, legs, eye, and all of those things. And then we human beings have produced artificial human beings. Okay? And then these artificial human beings is a threat to us. It's really a threat to us. Okay? But if you want to be AI proof, how can we ensure that we are AI proof? And of course, there are human skills. Okay? There are human skills that makes us AI proof. Okay, maybe God knows AI is going to come, I'm not sure, but there are skills that make us AI proof. As a person, if I'm to share my own personal secret with you, there are businesses I can never do. Okay, there are businesses I can never do. I think I have the ambition of building university, but I'm almost throwing that away because take it maybe like prophecy, or we can agree to disagree, but I am of the opinion that universities might go away or they may still be there. Both, they may have research role and all of those things. You see, some years back, around 2016, 2017, I was working in Scarborough, okay, somewhere east of England, in Scarborough, around Scarborough, York area. And I go around communities and I organize tester section. In fact, I was so famous doing that the BBC had to come to my lab and give me an interview. So I was on BBC on the community work I was doing at that time. And I tried to tell young people, come and enroll in the university. And I remember one guy, one white guy, I was talking to him to enroll in the university, and he brought out his phone. He brought out his phone and he said, "This is my university. This is my university." And come to think of it, those of us that teach in the university, what do? You go to the internet, copy the information, make PowerPoint, and present to the people. Okay? So, well, I don't know how I got there, but I've said something. But there are human skills that AI, that makes us AI proof. Okay? What are those skills that makes us AI proof? My time is gone, but I am going to talk to you on these skills. And these are the skills that every employer wants. If you don't have this skill, employers will not want to see you. Okay? And a number of them, okay, we have analytical thinking. Analytical thinking, that is ability to systematically and logically work through issues. Ability to systematically and logically work through issues. So you are working in an organization, and as a worker in an organization, there is a particular focus of the organization at that time. There are so many things that are important, but one is more important than another. Okay, so employers will not want you to be talking about everything at the same time. And if you don't know these things, you are like, okay, you get bored. Every time I say something, they are not going to listen to me. And a lot of people criticize their employers. And the problem is not necessarily the employer, but you. Why? Because a lot of employees lack the ability to systematically, please underline, and logically work through issues. What is the scale of preference? What is the scale of preference? Can you look at the organization and say, okay, based on this, let's focus on this, let's leave out this? Of course, this is not degree in law, degree in sociology yet. This is analytical thinking. AI cannot do this for you. Number two, creative thinking. That has to do with finding novel and practical ways to address challenges. Finding novel and practical ways to address challenges. AI cannot do that for you. Creative thinking. Then resilience. Ability to recover from setback. Okay. Ability to recover from setback. That is resilience. And then flexibility and adaptation. Ability to change to suit new conditions. And then we have agility or agility, however you want to pronounce it. Ability to think and draw conclusions very quickly. So there's a number of things on your table. Are you able to think and draw conclusions very, very quickly? That has to do with agility. Then we have motivation, which is the ability to initiate and maintain goal-oriented behavior. You initiate and you maintain goal-oriented behavior. And of course, motivation shouldn't come by motivation speaking. Sometimes when you are very organized, you'll be motivated. And I think we can agree to disagree on this as well. And the last three is really very, very important. And one is self-awareness. Self-awareness. Earlier on, I wanted to talk about emotional intelligence, but let me just talk about self-awareness. That is having conscious knowledge of oneself character. You knowing your strength and knowing your weaknesses. I've been a pastor, and being a pastor, I meet with a lot of people. And I've seen people blame other people, and then at a particular point, things will look so bizarre, so bad, so whatever, so messed up. And then, of course, everybody will blame the leader and all of those things. But if you look at the root of the problem, is because people lack self-awareness. Sometimes in an organization that we have problem, or in the family, we lack self-awareness. And that is an integral part of education. And then lifelong learning. Lifelong learning. That is ongoing, voluntary, and self-motivated pursuit of knowledge. Okay? Not just within the confine of classroom. All right? So I'm going to stop here. My time is gone. And thank you for listening. So when we talk about education, please, you need to think out of the box, think outside the box, and the future of education is your skill. This week, I learned how to do partitioning, how to build a wall, how to paint, and do all of those things. AI cannot do that for me. So if you don't want to be replaced by AI, then you have to look at those practical skills that AI cannot do. Else, the threat of AI is real. Thank you for listening.
Wow, that was a breathtaking session. Please, can we just put our hands together for the speaker, Dr. Samuel Abba? Are you with me? Can I get... Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so can we please just give our speaker a round of applause? You can drop it on the comment section. You can clap your hands. Remember that one criteria for you to get a certificate of attendance is being actively participating in the session. So we are not encouraging you to stay muted and just quiet in the background. I believe a lot has been said and you have questions. I've seen one question in the comment section already, and I'm encouraging us, and I believe we have more questions. And let us do well to either drop them in the comment section, or you can just raise your hand and you ask your question when you are called upon. Thank you very much, Dr. Samuel Abba. That was a a beautiful presentation, and it's actually helped me to really reflect on the journey. I remember when I started school, there was no internet, and we were very much glued to the school library, because that was all the state library, because that is where we can get resources to research and to get to know more. But now we are in the age where we can get high quality information on the fly. But like Dr. Samuel has said, it comes with its attendant issues, where you have to be agile to be able to sift the chaff from valuable content. And thank you very much, Dr. Sam, once again. And we also appreciate Dr. Linda. Sorry, I was having some challenges, and I want to appreciate Barrister Princess for holding forth for me, the ever agile and innovative barrister. Thank you very much. And we go straight to the question and answer. And I'm going to start with a question from Barka Ndahi. And his question is addressed to the first presenter, Dr. Linda. And he says, how can one feel secure in a conflict-affected area? So, Dr. Linda, if you could lend your voice to this question.
Yeah, thank you for the question. It is a tricky one, isn't it? So if you say in a conflict area, it depends on the vastness of the conflict, because if I live in an area that the conflict is very, very threatening, I don't think I'll continue to live there, me personally, because that is where we have normally the UN and other NGOs coming in to evacuate people and all that. But having said that, it's impossible for everyone to be evacuated from a conflict area. So what I would say is that it's really hard. All you have to do is to try as much as possible to keep yourself safe. Listen to because normally they give out announcements, how people can protect themselves, how you can look after yourself. So you have to be alert. You have to be aware of your environment, what is happening, and also use that skill of having that emotional intelligence to take that concrete decision, whether you have to continue to live there or you have to move away, because it's a personal choice. It's either you live there or you stay or you move away. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Linda. I think in such times as this, where there are wars and rumors of wars, conflict all around, it is very important that we stay grounded to our source so that we don't get overwhelmed. Thank you very much. And another question for you, Dr. Linda. And it says, if everyone becomes an entrepreneur, who will be employed? Is there no place for lifelong intrapreneurs?
Yeah, that's a very good question. But having said that, again, in life, you are faced with choices. You have to decide which side of the coin you want to be. Okay? If you want to be, some people prefer to become employees because they are scared of that security. They want to be secure. They want to be assured that every month they will have a salary coming in. They don't want to take that risk. Whereas other people would like to go a step further and take on that risk. Now, when I should tell you this, you'll be surprised, or might not be surprised. You might be aware of it. But do you know that when you take the entire population of the world, which is about 8 billion or so, or 9 billion, the rich comprises of just 1.5%. the whole world, okay? And again, as I said, it's a choice. It depends on how you feel within. If you want your peace of mind, I tell people that, especially when we go to work, people are moaning that, oh, it's like this, it's like that. I always say that the choice is yours. So what are you doing about it? You're not happy about a situation. If you are happy, fair enough. We are not talking about it's about the peace of mind. I'm relating it to the peace of mind. If you want that peace of mind, whereby you not constantly be the laborer, you not be told, it feels good to also say to yourself, today I'm sleeping till 11 a.m. I'm not going to work. You feel good within yourself. So I'm talking about in a situation whereby you want to be a strong person. You want to tell yourself when you wake up in the morning, you decide on what you want to eat. Do you know even when you are working for somebody, your pay will determine what you eat? Because if your salary is not good enough, you can't even acquire your basic right of having good quality food. You always buy food that is of less quality. You always assess less quality things such as healthcare and all that. So having money or being an entrepreneur is not anything, but it's for your own good, but it's your own choice, whichever way you want to turn to. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Linda. I believe that question was from Barrister Princess. And I also have a question in that direction, because there's this constant saying, and everyone, I know a lot of people around me, they all want to be entrepreneurs, and no one wants to work for anybody anymore.
Yeah.
And but I realized that not all entrepreneurs end up successful. Some are not cut out for it, but because of the pressures of you need to be an entrepreneur, so that they don't feel like they are failing in life, they jump into the train. So I want to ask, is there no way for you to actually be successful and earn enough to be comfortable as an employee?
Yeah, you can. I know people who are earning 6 figures, but the question is, as you are earning 6 figures, the person who is paying you 6 figures is probably earning 12 figures. And the person is using your blood, your sweat, your intelligence, everything. Let me tell you my personal story. We've all been employees before. I'm still an employee, and I'm on my verge of very soon quitting. But one day I was looking at my pension. Those of us that live in the UK, I was looking at my state pension years back, I mean a few years back, about 5 years ago. And my state pension told, when I was looking at it online, if I should work for another 25 years at that time, I would have earned £80 a week. Okay, so that told me that at that instant, I felt insulted. It told me that when I looked online, basically 25 years of my life was equivalent to £80 a week. As I said, it's a choice. Someone will be jumping. I can't, in that instance, someone will be jumping, oh my gosh, I'm going to earn £80. For me, I felt, looking at how intelligent I am, how dedicated I am, it's an insult. So it's up to you. Where, as I said, you have to decide where you want to be. And talking about the fact that people do not succeed. Do you know failure is part of success? Because when you do not fail, you will not learn. When you want to embark on something, it's very good that what happens is that, let's say I want to go into property investment. Let me use that as an example. Some people, they don't even do any research. They don't educate themselves. And then they'll take 10 million, all their savings, then they'll go into it. You have to, before you venture into anything, you have to educate yourself. I know some people, I'm originally from Ghana. I know some people who would use their life savings because someone would say that, Linda, when you bring shoes to Ghana, oh, it will go within 1 week. And then they'll use all their life savings to ship shoes to Ghana. And when they go, meanwhile, nobody will buy it. It's because they listen to somebody. They didn't do their own research. Then they'll say that, oh, in this country, if you do business, it's not good. But meanwhile, they didn't do their own research. So one thing you need to understand that failure itself is part of success. I will give you examples of people who have failed. And even Steve Jobs, the person that started Microsoft, when you read them, they all failed. The person who invented the light bulb, he failed over 100 times. Donald Trump, in the 90s, he lost over 10 billion. He got it within 3 years. So it happens. But when it happens, you have to pull yourself back and learn from your mistakes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Linda, for that really elaborate response. And there's still another question for you from Barrister Princess. And she's asking, how do you identify a mentor and get them committed to delivering value to you?
Yeah, again, you have to research and do your homework. For me, as soon as I decided that I want to change my life, as I said, it's a decision that one ought to make. As soon as I decided to change my life. I was telling doctor, most weekends, I'm not home. I'm always on a training, networking with millionaires, doing things that will help me grow, because I'm sure you've heard this word that your network is your net worth. Okay, so the moment you make that decision, you yourself will have to strive. But as Dr. Abba was sharing, everything is online now. Everything is online. You can find coaches, very good coaches online, mentors online. There are so many of them online. So you have to do your own research. And I don't mind, you can contact me. I can also help you. Or you can speak to Dr. Abba about how to contact me. I can help you to find the right mentor or coach, depending on the field that you want to go into. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. And another question here, I believe this is for Dr. Sam. Let me see more questions for you so that I can let you be. Okay, I think the rest questions are for Dr. Sam. Thank you very much, Dr. Linda, for the answers, wonderful answers there.
You're welcome.
Dr. Sam, the next set of questions are for you. And the first one is asking from Samson Ako, what is the impact of AI on plagiarism? Question for you, Dr. Sam.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I think AI is really very clever. I was in Switzerland and someone was saying to me that even people that develop AI, they are also surprised. So, most often, okay, students, when they use AI, they can advise the AI or tell the AI to make sure there's no plagiarism. And AI does it so well. So sometimes students that use AI to generate work, their plagiarism rate is very low or almost zero. So AI, there too, they are trying to safeguard. Like there was a machine I bought and the company, they don't want to provide support. So I went to my AI and I said, how do I do this about this machine? AI say, contact the company. If you need more information, contact the company. Then I said, okay, AI, could you suggest, assuming I want to design this machine, how would I do this? And he gave me the whole secret. So he gave me the whole secret. So AI itself is smart. It's very, very smart. And I think using it also is a skill, actually, So AI is designed to minimize plagiarism. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. And that your response is going to connect beautifully with the next question from Barrister Princess. It says, knowing how to use AI is a skill in itself. Shouldn't people learn how to use AI effectively as opposed to focusing solely on skills that AI cannot replace?
Yes, people need to learn how to use AI, but no matter how you use AI, there are skills AI cannot replace, and there are things AI cannot do for you. Like my presentation, I thought I can make it in 30 minutes, but I have so much I didn't talk about. For example, okay, if you are, let's say you are in Nigeria right now, so let me use Nigeria as an example. Let's say you are in AYA junction, and you say to AI, how do I get to maybe any closest place that you can walk? Okay, AI is not going to tell you you should walk. Okay, AI is not going to tell. He will rather be giving you option. Okay, so yes, developing skills on how to use AI is really, really very, very important. But there are those skills that makes us human. And I think that while you are learning how to use AI, make sure you also focus on those skills that makes us human. Okay.
Thank
I'm
you
not
very
sure if I've
much.
answered your question. Thank you.
I believe the question has been answered. If there is need for clarification, I believe our attention will be called to it. And there is another question from Amratefa Ejiro. And it says, my question is for our man of God. Can one deduce that with AI, we are supposed to be guided to present our points, like using AI to write our CVs, statements of purpose, write our projects, and write books, instead of depending on AI entirely? I think basically it's asking, can one deduce with AI we are supposed to be guided to present our points instead of depending entirely on AI? I believe
Okay,
that's your question.
let me say this. Why they call it artificial intelligence is AI is not meant to think for you. Okay? AI is not meant to think for you. AI cannot think for you. Okay? But is artificial intelligence in the sense that it can pretty to some extent try to read your mind, like not like read your mind, but if you type in some things, AI can rephrase it for you and try to present it for you. I think using AI in that sense is okay. Okay, using AI in that sense is okay. I wish I have time to talk about bad ways people use AI or unskillful ways people use AI. So you can use AI to write your CV, but you must have a prototype, okay? You must write some things down. AI definitely cannot know that you went to University of California or you went to Chicago. So you must write something down to AI, okay? Statement of purpose. So I think using AI to correct your English, to redraft your work, or to give you options as to which communicate your mind more appropriately, I think is good. Is good instead of depending entirely on AI. Some students will just copy the question. Maybe you say, okay, what are the community health initiatives or health promotion initiatives? They'll just copy it, AI help, and they will not read it. They'll just read 1-2 lines. Once it makes sense, they copy and submit. So we see that all the time. So you cannot depend entirely on AI. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think I have the personal experience. I think this AI dependence has become so bad that people even use it for day-to-day conversations and interaction. And you see people will just copy and paste. The moment you see it, you just know this is not this person. This is AI talking to me. And it feels weird and strange. And I try to encourage people around me that you use AI to guide you, not actually to do the work for you. because it just makes you look really weird before the other person. Thank you, sir, for that response. And another question for you, sir, from Jonathan. And it says, how do we discourage our learners today to make good use of their reasoning ability than using AI? I think he's trying to say, how do you discourage people from using AI and depending more on their reasoning ability?
Okay, thank you very much. If you, when I was making this presentation, I have a lot of people in mind, not just this audience. I have lecturers in mind, professors in mind, education leaders in mind, because I know that beyond this workshop, this presentation may go on YouTube and wherever. So if you look at when I was making presentation, I did talk about AI-proof assessment. AI-proof assessment. And I don't want us to talk about assessment within that traditional university parameter or school parameter or framework of within the framework of the educational system. Okay? Assessment is assessment. So if someone writes something to you and you think that this thing looks more intelligent than the person, call the person and interview the person. Okay? And next time, if the person is going to use AI, I have to call someone one day and say, please don't use AI for me. Okay. And we have a company, and Gloria is the CEO, and sometimes she will come to me and she say things like, I can't believe this person writes something like this. So when you begin to, and again, another way to do that is interact with people, get to know people. Okay, if you have employees, get to know them. If you have colleagues, get to know them. If you have friends, get to know them. With that, you can match what they are writing with their intelligence. Thank you.
Barrister Princess made a comment. She said, when you see transformative, interwoven, tapestry, and all the ChatGPT words. Yes. And another question from Christy Dafiago. And she's saying, what is the difference between the AI and human beings? What is the difference between AI and humans?
Okay, the difference between AI and human being. Yeah, is very difficult to say, but I will try because AI is being designed to emulate a human being. Okay, AI is being designed to just act like a human being, but it's still not a human being. For example, in health and social care, for example, there is this nurse, the first AI nurse or social worker that was created. Okay, but the AI cannot just take the patient and bet the patient. In health and social care, there are different positions you can bet the patient, either sitting down or lying down or doing that. AI cannot turn you and bet you and turn you like that. Okay, so the highest AI can do, or some of these robots, and I'm talking about robotics or robots now, the highest they could do is say, please, can you turn around, please? Or also say something. Somebody in the world could come and help this patient to turn the back and all of those things. So that empathy, AI cannot show empathy for human beings. AI cannot show empathy. And some of the skills that I skipped on my slide, I was going to talk about that, but I had to scale it because I don't want to take time. But I think there's empathy, communication, and that real-time communication, like we are talking with you now. I don't think AI can have that real-time conversation and communication. Okay, so AI probably cannot go and negotiate business for me, for you like that. And AI cannot come and be cooking in your kitchen. And AI cannot come and do like the partitioning and the wall and the painting I'm doing. They cannot do it like the way human being does it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. But sir, I think with the advent of with the integration of AI into robotics and with the huge data sets available for the training of the AI models, I think it's getting close to almost to emulating humans. And I think I'm very confident that very soon AI can be able to really emulate some of these skills of empathy and negotiation and the rest of them. So that is the more reason why we need to really be agile. And there was something you said to me sometime. You said the skill people need now is the ability to unlearn and relearn, not being stuck to something you know. Be agile and be ready to change, to grow, and not be stagnant. Thank you very much, sir. And there are some comments here. A comment from Sam Sinako says, your net worth is your network, word on marble. Yes, I think you can say your worth can be built on the strength of your network, your connections. Thank you very much. And from Timothy Usman, he said, while AI is smart at plagiarism, there are AI detectors now. Example, Quillbot can detect AI write-up. Yes, we have Quillbots and other fantastic AI detectors, but let me also tell you that there are also new AI models that are coming to counter the AI detectors. So it is going to be an interesting race and journey ahead. And I think in the end, man will come out victorious. And a question from Maxwell Ajufo. Dr. Sam, don't you think it's better not to compete with AI, but rather be a master of managing AI? According to Jack Ma of Alibaba, AI has come to make life easier, hence we should no more stress ourselves doing what AI can do for us. I think this question is similar to an earlier question asked about using AI to guide and support some of our activities. So Dr. Sam, maybe you have one or two things to say about that.
I think my background is biology. My background is biology. And when we begin to look at several concepts in biology and theories that have been proposed over the years, I think one of it is use and disuse. Use and disuse. Okay. So sometimes I go to work, and when I go to work, I don't just stand on elevator. An elevator take me down and take me up. I walk on the elevator. I always walk on the elevator. And since I don't have time to hit the gym all the time, because I believe in use and whatever. So whatever you use is developed. Whatever you stop using, whatever. So, and of course we have cars now like Elon Musk, Tesla, that can drive you, and all of this is AI integrated and all of those things. So I think that yes, we can focus on managing the AI, and of course there are other things we are not talking about, a whole lot of ethical issues that we are not talking about. So it's good to manage, as you said. I agree with you, but at the same time, if all what we do is to sit down and now be controlling AI is thinking for us, I tell you, we'll become less innovative. And if anything happened to the AI, then that is the end of the human race, if we now allow AI to begin to do whatever. So whatever you use is developed. Whatever you don't use will die. Nature abhors vacuum, they say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And a comment from Akatuba.
I think Dr. Linda, just an observation, has been raising up her hand. I don't know if you observe.
Yeah, okay, yes. Dr. Linda, please, you can, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to make a quick comment regarding what our barrister said in terms of the language used by AI. And my brother EJ, I think you also mentioned it. Now there's an app called Humanize AI. Yes. So whatever you're doing with AI, you can even humanize it. But I don't know if I'm allowed to say this here, but we in Africa, okay, I get emotional when I'm talking about this. We have the best resources in the world. We have everything in the world, but again, we are the ones suffering in the world. It's because of our way of thinking. I'm just begging all of us. It looks as if our conversation is going towards the negative side of AI. My brothers and my sisters, someone is using AI to make billions tonight. Let's think about how we can use AI to improve our lives. Whether we like it or not, we can't do anything about it. It has come to stay. So sorry if I'm being emotional, but we have to, it annoys me when I go for seminars and I see this Oyibo person, he's not knowledgeable, he doesn't know anything, but meanwhile, he's on top there. That we are always there. So I just want us to continue to fight and see how we can also be at par with them. They always help encourage us to be negative. We should start thinking about the positivity that AI is bringing. Yes, the negative is there, but I don't want us to focus on the negative aspect. Let's look at how we can use AI to improve on our health, how we can use it to improve on our relationships, how we can use it to improve on parenting, every aspect of our lives, so that we can also flourish. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Linda. That is a very, very valid point there. I think we really need to start thinking on how we can maximize AI for our growth and development. I think that is the summary of the point. And that leads to a comment from Akatuba Ediri. Said, Dr. Linda taught me today to always start my day with gratitude. And now she has added that you should explore the positive aspects of AI and embrace it for your growth and for your advancement. And because of time, I still see a lot of comments, and we cannot attend to all of them. But I believe we have all been impacted by this session, and we've learned so much. And we've also seen how we can enhance our lives through our ideas, our innovation, and even using the artificial systems that have been created. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining in on this session. And we really appreciate your engagement. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate your time. And we would also like us for, yes, AI also helps to save time. That is why we should embrace it and understand how we can use it to benefit us. Meaning we have to use our human skills like critical thinking, empathy, innovation, and the rest of them.
Something? Can I say something? I don't know where my virtual hand is, so I was trying to raise up my
Yes,
hand.
please. Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
There is this problem, okay, and I just want to add thought to what has been said so far. There is this problem that we have in Africa that we can also, well, I'm not in Africa, but it's common within the African continent. We cannot have technology jump. Okay, let me give you an example what I mean briefly. I'm a biomedical scientist, and in biomedical science, research is jumping like every day. Okay, but you cannot try to be where the whites are in what they are using. If you do that, you remain a slave. I was in China and I was very, very impressed. Out of the 4 biggest cities in China, I visited three cities. And I see how they are doing things. They start from the basics, they start from the fundamentals. Now, in Africa, you see a lot of people, even programming skills, they don't know how to do it, but they want to use AI. But let me say this. I wanted to talk about TikTok, Bitcoin, and all of those things, and how this thing is impacting on people. These things are really very good to monetize. Okay, but I think in trying to monetize this thing, we should also try to understand how were they created and how is this thing working. How do they work? Okay, there's something I used to say to people sometimes. I said, if you want to be successful, you must learn how to copy, be a copycat, and copy appropriately. Okay, I know that is not just as simple as I said. That statement needs explanation, but I don't have the time. But it's also good we understand. Okay, let me take TikTok for example. Right now, everybody wants to dance naked on TikTok. They want followers. TikTok is paying well. I didn't have time to talk about that in my whatever. Okay, but nobody is thinking, how was the TikTok developed? More recently in the United States, I think about last 2 weeks or so, something happened and TikTok was suspended or something like that. And you see people crying, see people frustrated. The lady was crying, the guy was literally crying that TikTok is gone and whatever. So while we use this thing, I think we should also think about sustainability. What if Facebook disappeared tomorrow? What if something happened, YouTube disappear or TikTok disappear? Meanwhile, all your life, instead of channeling your energy to come up with practical skills, physical projects, self-development, and all of those things, you adjust, all your innovation has been narrowed to what to post on TikTok to have followers. And now TikTok is disappeared. I'm not saying it's going to disappear, it's a possibility. It just happened 2 weeks ago in America when it was whatever. So in Africa, we should not just consume, but we should try to also understand the fundamentals. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That was a very valid point. We should understand the fundamentals. And I think because of the concept of understanding the fundamentals and how things work, I was explaining to someone that AI cannot take over from you, because what the system and model AI is built on, it is from the information we have. It is just models that have been trained to respond in a certain manner. And if so, I saw someone online saying that there should be a new, they want to do something new where they will begin to feed junk and wrong information online so that they can confuse most of these AI models and should I say corrupt the data set. So it's very critical for us to understand how these things work. It also helps us to actually improve our creativity and our ability to use them when we know how it works. Thank you very much, sir, for that. And I believe we have come to the end of our question and answer section. And please, there is a certificate of attendance that will be given to participants, and a link has been dropped in the comment section to the form where you will fill. And if you want that certificate, please do well to fill this form. It is shared in the comment section. And then when the certificate has been prepared, it will be shared with you. Thank you very much, everyone, for being a part of the session and staying with us to this time. And if it is not a burden for you, we would really love you to switch on your video so that we can take a quick group photograph and a quick photograph session. So just turn on your video if you can, and we'll take a quick photograph. I believe town planner Goswell is in charge of that, and you let us know when we are good to go. Can we turn on our videos if we can for the photograph?
It's done.
Okay. Thank you very much. And I believe that has brought us to the end of our session. And we thank you very much. This is We Are Holy Nations International Ministries, a ministry devoted to the teaching and preaching of the grace of God, which came by Jesus Christ. And we strongly believe that it is a rare privilege to be properly taught the truth of God's word in a time where social media and artificial intelligence is dumbing down society. Critical thinking and truth learning has become a very rare thing. But we thank God for that privilege, and we would encourage you to join us in our gospel campaign, which happens every Sunday by 9 a.m. West African time. That is 8 p.m. That is 8 a.m. UK time. That is daylight saving. And yes, please, you can turn off your video now. I just saw a question. You can turn off your video now. Thank you. And we want to appreciate our phenomenal guests, Dr. Sam and Dr. Linda. We really appreciate you for taking out this time and preparing extensively to impact us with this knowledge. And I would also like to invite us to our Friday prophetic prayer meeting, which is also by 10 p.m. West Africa time, which is at 9 p.m. GMT. And I believe and I know that you will not go back the same, because there is a lot of transformative information and truth that we get to learn and we get to know and we get to study, that transforms our lives, that transcends time. So thank you very much, and we're looking forward to seeing you in those in those meeting sessions. And God will bless you and reward you as you do so. And at this point, I would like to invite our Father, Apostle Dr. Samuel Abba, to take us in the closing prayers.
Thank you very much, Engineer Jerry. And thank you, Dr. Linda, for that wonderful presentation. We talk a lot, and we both share the same passion, and this is just the beginning. I want to thank Barrister Princess for your moderation, succinct moderation, I would say. Always working at it and always getting it right. God bless you. Thank you for a lot of time you put into this today. I want to thank everyone. Thank you, Mommy Gloria, for your support. All of you in Holy Nations International Ministries that have been working tirelessly to make this workshop a success. I want to believe that we've all learned one or two things. I sat down here listening from you, and even from the learning from you, even from the questions that is being asked. Thank you very much. And I want you to believe that you are blessed. You are already blessed. In the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
The Bible said that if God cannot withhold his Son, Jesus Christ, and he sent him to die for us, how can he not freely give us all things? He has given you the highest thing, which is his life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believe in him will not perish. Kai, your dream will not perish. Your aspiration will
Amen.
not perish. You will
Amen.
not perish when you go
Amen.
out. You will not perish when
Amen.
you come in. In the
Amen.
mighty name
Amen.
of Jesus Christ. Every
Amen.
one of you
Amen.
present here, you have a desire, you have a dream. In the name of
Amen.
Jesus, I prophesy and I pray that that thing that is in your heart, God will put it in your hand. In
Amen.
the mighty name of
Amen.
Jesus Christ. I
Amen.
declare your weekend
Amen.
blessed. I declare the days ahead of you blessed. I
Amen.
declare
Amen.
that you will
Amen.
make use of the internet. You will leverage on it to change your life, change your family, and create sustainable wealth in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. I pray that the knowledge
Amen.
that you need, the connection that you need, you will always find it in the mighty name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
That we pray
Amen.
making this a success. Thank you for the knowledge of artificial intelligence. We know all of these things, you allow it. We are going to leverage on it to our advantage in the mighty name of Jesus. I
Amen.
pray for
Amen.
children in Africa. I pray for people that are experiencing the challenge of digital divide. I pray for everything that you need to live a successful life. I pray that God will raise help for you anywhere you are.
Amen.
Amen.
This week, you are meeting with
Amen.
your helpers in the
Amen.
mighty name of
Amen.
Jesus. And the
Amen.
knowledge that you have
Amen.
received today, you are going to leverage on it. You are going to use it to do something, and God will bless the works of your hand. For in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. So have a wonderful time. And God bless you. And do not forget to fill the form, please, if you need the certificates. And the form is still on the comment. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Holy Nations Ministries on YouTube, and Holy Nations Church on Facebook. And you can see our logo. Once you go on any of the channels, you will see that. And that is our channel. So we're looking forward to seeing you. And also, you can also subscribe to our WhatsApp channel, which is still goes by the name Holy Nations International Ministries. Thank you very much, everyone, and do have a good evening or a good morning, whatever your time zone says. Bye.